All right.
Do you edit this?
No. No. I don't know if y'all could hear Myra, but she said, do we edit this? Because we edit in the studio what we say, but when you're live, you're live. Yeah, it's just
You're
live.
live.
Yep.
What is
Yeah.
is, huh?
Yeah. So I am sitting here. This is Melinda Marsalis, and I own the Shark radio station and Kudzu 104.9 radio stations. And these two ladies came in to do an interview with me for my show, Heard It on the Shark. But what they brought in for visual effects was too great not to share, so we've decided to do a YouTube live video. So this is Grace Hill Robertson and Myra Hill McKee, and they are sisters from Falkner, Mississippi, which is just north of Ripley, Mississippi. And probably if we tried just a little, could be kinfolks. If we just tried a little. Everybody in Tippah County's kin to each other somehow or another. Okay, so these ladies are part of a quilting group that meets together from January through March quite a bit, like 15 or 20 hours a week, and they quilt through those nasty hours of the winter time. And they have several people in their group, and they all get together and quilt. So what I thought that I would do is let you see some of their work and let you hear how they do this. So Myra, tell them a little bit about the history of your club.
Okay, it originated with our ancestors. In the home, parents would, mothers, grandmothers would put up quilts for their family. But as the years went by, the quilters would gather in the community. And at Mount Zion, the ladies would gather together and quilt each other's quilts. This was done, like I said, for several years back. Also, the group was in Falkner, Mississippi, at the town hall area, and the community ladies gathered there and quilted. Since 2015, we have been at the Mount Zion Cumberland Presbyterian Church. They offer their facilities there for us to set up the quilts and invite ladies to come and join during those months, the winter months, when you're not able to be outside and quilt. And it's all a charity group event that we do.
Grace, tell them about the event that is coming up, the Falkner I couldn't think of the name of it for a minute. It's Heritage Day, right?
Right.
Faulkner
Okay,
Heritage.
tell about Faulkner Heritage Day and how they can get
Myra
involved.
knows more about
Oh,
that.
okay.
So let her
Okay.
talk.
It's the annual car show, antique car show. In April, the last Saturday in April, we have that. And the Mount Zion Quilters, they donate a quilt each year. This year we've got 2 quilts that have been donated, and it's for a fundraiser. And they'll be given away. The drawing will be that day at the car show. And the Mount Zion Quilters receives donations for the quilting that's done, and it goes to the Mount Zion Youth for their mission trips and things like that. It's a charitable organization.
So
we also, the quilts that is being sold, one was donated from Louise Horton. She passed away, and her family donated the quilt dump
That Jane Cross put together.
Yeah, it's what is it called?
Woodland animals.
Woodland animals, and then Martha Wilbanks donated one that is a Dresden plate. No, this one is a cross and crown.
okay, now wait a minute. Is that Woodland Animals quilt up for auction, or is it up for sale?
Sale.
It's for sale.
Well, it is buy a ticket.
Donations,
Buy a
yes.
ticket.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
It's a raffle.
Right.
You have to.
Raffle.
Oh,
Okay,
a raffle.
All right,
Okay.
raffle, yes.
Yes.
So I need to buy some raffle tickets. That
That's
thing
right.
is beautiful. I love that quilt. You should buy a raffle for this quilt. It's
That's-
gorgeous.
That's right. And the other one is a cross in crayon, and it was found at a estate sale.
That's right.
The squares were found at an estate sale. Martha Griffin's parents' estate sale, and Jane Cross put it together. Some of the parts were missing, and she found fabric that would match up, and she put the top together, and it was donated to the Faulkner Heritage. The Mount Zion Quilters quilted the quilt and then donated it for us to raffle for a fundraiser for Faulkner Heritage.
Okay. So I'm going to tell y'all, as if you're dumb like me and didn't know, there's two parts, two main parts. There's the piecing together of all the pattern,
Yeah.
and then there's the stitching, the quilting. So
This
let's
is
do
a-
this one first, if
First,
you don't
okay.
mind. I'm going to step behind the cameras to make sure we get a good picture.
Okay.
All right, so hold it. Yeah, stand up. That's great. And then tell a little bit about
Here,
this
get
quilt.
this corner. In
Oh, so
1933, Mount Zion, not Mount Zion, our grandmother, Wardy Hill, we called her Mama Hill, entered her quilt in the Sears quilt competition. And it was for the event that was taking place in Chicago. And the quilt that was chosen would be given to President Roosevelt, Eleanor Roosevelt. The quilt would be given to her. And so there was about 25,000 entries. Now, our grandmother's quilt did not win the prize, but you could check it out on the internet who did. So,
I can't imagine a quilt being more beautiful than this, though. It's
It
so
was-
beautiful.
our grandmother designed the quilt. The airport flying, all the airport in Memphis was a new thing, so she designed it. It was on transportation. It was the events of progress in 1933.
Okay, so this was
Progress of
the
time.
World's Fair in
It was like a
1933.
in Chicago.
Okay, and so there's your airport.
And birds flying.
Okay.
And the
the
airplanes.
planes.
Yes.
Okay,
And-
can you bring it forward just a little bit? Let
Just
us
turn it
see some of
around,
that
so-
detail, because that stitching is magnificent.
And if you'll notice those little planes in the stitching.
In the stitching, yes. There's planes in the stitching. And our mother, Juanita Hill, she helped Mama Hill quilt the quilt. So it was passed down to her. And then when our Mama Hill passed and they were having the estate sale and all, Grace, our sister here, she got a bedroom suit, and my mother passed the quilt to her. So it's been in the family 90 years at least.
That is amazing.
Yes.
So, all right, that was a quilt not done by y'all, but let's see this other one that is done by your group, your quilting group.
All right. This is our hands quilt
For our family.
for the Robert and Juanita Hill family. Sherry Hill designed this, Gerald's wife, our brother, and it has the 14 children, their hands, and their signature. And our parents had passed, and Grace used her hand, and then Kenny Hill used his hand for the mother and dad. And also one brother-in-law, Lowell Green, had passed, and his son, hand represents him. So we have quilted about a dozen of these quilts. We just this year, just recently, did one when our sister's house burned, her hand quilt burned. So we quilted her another one. And that was in 2024.
Grace, tell people how they can join your fun group.
We would love for anybody that wants to learn to quilt to come to Mount Zion, call Mount Zion Church, or contact
Message. Faulkner
Faulkner
Heritage.
Heritage and let us know if you want to learn to quilt, and we will be glad to teach you. Or if you have a quilt that you'd like for us to quilt, we'd love to do it. We usually take donations, and all the money, proceeds that we get for the quilt, we donate to the Mount Zion Youth for their mission trips during the summer.
Okay, Grace, Myra, thank you so much for bringing
Thank
this
you.
gorgeous work in and sharing it with us. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, ladies, can I look up close?
Yes.
That is
We
the
would
neatest idea.